Welcome into the Cam and Strick podcast, episode number 14, and this is an episode unlike any of the other ones. Cam Jansen,
You're a little scared, weren't you?
How are you? Great
I'm
to see
good.
you.
I'm doing well.
We're at the Shack today, not at the normal brand. We're at the Shack, and we love this spot here in Frontenac. Great breakfast.
Twister would love it.
Twister would love it too.
He'd order the whole menu.
Dude, what just happened?
Oh my
in this
God.
interview? Can you explain this to me?
I can't explain it, but I love the man, and he was so great to us. Came down, he fed us. We saw his paintings. We saw his garage. I snooped around even more. The place was awesome, and he was great to us. You were a little freaked out.
Dude, I opened the door, and his dog, it looks
The
like
werewolf?
Ray Lewis.
The werewolf.
Okay, it looks like it weighs 260 pounds. It's got muscles coming out of his neck, muscles coming out of his ears, and we're staring down one another. Right when I open the door, everybody's like, oh, go ahead in. And I'm thinking, okay, we're at Twister's house. The chances of him having an
Middle of
attack
nowhere.
dog are pretty high, right?
Okay, fine. I'll top you on that. When I got there before you guys, he's vacuuming with no shirt on. I thought it was, again, another werewolf. I got two werewolves. One's vacuuming, and the other one's coming at me. It was a fun experience. He told some great stories.
Beautiful house, man.
Beautiful house. He built
property.
it himself.
Yeah,
he
beautiful
could build
property.
you anything you want. There's a T-Rex in the driveway. We took a picture on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff, too. And, yeah, he made that, by the way.
We didn't talk about it enough during the podcast, but this guy has like serious artistic ability.
He does.
I mean, he paints, he blows glass, he does sculptures. He does sculptures. I mean, I felt like I was at the Clayton Art Fair.
I know. He's got every tool in the book in his garage, and just a unique individual,
Yeah.
a guy I looked up to. You chirped me a little bit about that on the podcast,
Oh, I know, 'cause
too.
you're such a fanboy. Like,
he's
I
my
look
guy.
at the Brett Hall, and I don't like,
No, well, Twister got me into hockey, man. I'm sorry about
when I
that.
do Brett Hall's,
When he took his jersey
interviews,
off,
I don't
when he
like
took his jersey
start
off,
sweating like
when he
you
took
do.
his jersey off in a penalty box, why do you think I did it? Because Twister did it. That's why. That's why.
Do you
I
take
love
your
the
shirt
man.
off when you vacuum too? Is
Damn
that-
right.
Okay. I
Kate
bet you
loves
do.
it.
I'm sure.
Kate loves it.
Is he insane or is he a genius?
I think he's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think he's a little crazy. He was crazy when he played, and but I tell you what, he was very, very sweet to us, man. And he's a
Unbelievable
great guy.
memory. And I will say this about Twister. He opened the doors to us. The hospitality was unbelievable. He couldn't have been nicer. And in all reality, we had a great time. I think you're going to enjoy this. One of the most popular blues in the history of the organization.
Absolutely.
I mean, when he was at his highest, he was certainly a major, major celebrity in St. Louis. So enjoy this one, the one and only Tony Twist on the Cam and Strick podcast. We're in Defiance, man. You never know where we're going to be. Twister's house.
Yes.
Thanks for opening your doors and letting us
My
come to your
pleasure.
crib.
Sorry it took so long. I saw you over at Bob Blitz's Christmas party,
Yeah,
and I said,
yeah.
well, yeah, we'll jump right in. But, of course, I had some other things, and I wasn't able to do
Yeah.
it. But,
He had a nice little day with you.
yeah, it was nice.
She's nice.
It's
She's wonderful. Jamie?
Wonderful, yeah.
Yeah, she's
you
a good
know,
gal.
it's weird.
What was the name? What was the name of the guy you were with?
Jamie?
Good one. Your jokes haven't gotten any funnier.
It's already started. It's already started. But we come in here, and of course, Tony Twist is our guest today. We pull up here right in the middle of, we're in the middle of the woods right now.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
Twister's been asking me to come out for some of the parties for a
Yes.
long,
If you
long
go
time
on
now.
Google Earth, it's not in the middle of nowhere.
It's not in the middle of nowhere.
It's only this far on the map on a globe
It's an
from
inch.
Ethiopia.
I'm not going
It's
to
an
lie.
inch.
I'm a little terrified about being out here right now. Okay,
He's
just
a
little
city
bit
boy,
scared,
Hold
guys.
on,
a little
why?
scared.
I locked the gimp up. He's not, unless you need me to wake the gimp up, I will.
I walk in the house, and there's a dog the size of Shaquille O'Neal that's coming at me, and I thought it was over right then and there. I wasn't worried about you. I was worried about the dog.
Well, you should be, because he's better hung than Shaquille.
That is a big ass dog. I've never
It's a
seen a
monster.
dog that
It's a
big.
werewolf.
I mean, it looks like
Sweetheart.
an
He's the most
inside
friendly dog
linebacker.
in the world.
He is. He and I.
If you can get over the gallop on the way to your car and the intense barking like he's going to kill you,
Yeah.
you open the door, he's all wags and go, come on in, I'll show you where the safe is, how to get in. Do I get treats?
Did you build this place?
I did.
People don't know this, but Tony Twist, we all know about the fighting and the hockey and all that, but you're very artistic.
Well, autistic, thank you.
No, artistic.
Oh, yes, that
That
too.
was
That
Andy
too.
who said that.
That too. Autistic and artistic.
You do a lot of things. You got paintings, you got murals everywhere. You walk into the garage, you got just stuff. You could build anything you want. You built this house by yourself. You do all this kind of stuff. But what are you doing now? You're doing the windshields. Again, you walk in the house, there's paintings everywhere. Tell us about your hobby that you got going on with all these.
Well, right
awesome
now
games.
I'm in the midst of trying to build this sexual robot that will. You put on the whole vision thing and you
virtual reality.
That's what it's called, virtual reality, and then you watch the video and you insert yourself here, kind of thing, and then you know what I'm saying.
You still have that thing?
I'm in the midst of making it. I keep breaking it. It keeps getting wet.
Okay.
Anyways, go ahead.
Breaking it.
All right. Yeah, that may make the show. I don't know if that's going to cut it or not.
Okay. All right, what do you guys want to talk about? I want to talk about something.
No, we got lots of stuff to talk about.
I got
what
one
do you
thing.
want to talk about?
I want to. Well, who is anybody smoking here?
I'll smoke with you.
Well, here, these are some Indian cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on one
Those are
second.
American spirits.
Can I call those Indian cigarettes? Is that too
I
politically?
believe it's-
No, because they're
because
Native
this is a
American.
lead-in to where all the National Hockey League has gone with all the pussification of what's going on with the coaches. I mean, where did this come from? I know where it came from. Hold on. Can I ask somebody how somebody was able to, in this game, sell this program to Bettman and he buys it? Because I feel like it's like a Dr. Phil telling a prostitute that you are the best. You're just as equal as everybody else out here. You make the same contributions regardless of who you are. Hold on. If you don't perform in the National Hockey League, you don't have a job.
No.
What's going? I have a hard time digesting this. How does this? All these coaches that are being fired for what happened 10 years ago, are we just going to dig into our pockets and make up stories and get coaches fired?
No, they're going to look at your Twitter, or they're going to go back and people are. And look, some of it I get. Like, don't get me wrong, but it is going back.
What part do you get?
Well, if you come in and you throw,
Go throw it out. It's already out there.
The racial slurs, the homophobic slurs,
stuff.
the physical. Like,
Now, was that meant? Hold on, were the racial
slurs?
slurs and homophobic slurs made in the dressing room where they should stay? Because they are not slurs at that point. Those are you. I have no clue. You can't take anything out of context. Like taking a comedian, taking a little bit out of his comedy show and putting it. He hates Jews. Oh no, I made a. Oh, you sure? I said it. I said I hate Jews, but it's all part of the whole program.
Yeah, comedy show, you're allowed to do that. I talked to Craig Berube about that actually
He had the best answer.
this morning.
Not this morning. I had the best answer when he was asked. You go, any skeletons coming out of your closet? And he goes, no, my players respect me, and you'll never hear that. You know what that was? That was an old-time chief saying, you know what? If it does go on in here, if it's ever been had, these guys respect me enough and know whatever I said was appropriate, and you know what? They'll ship in or ship out. That was the greatest answer any coach has ever had because they respect me.
The NHL came out with their code of conduct, right? And I think people are getting it a little bit twisted because you're still allowed to be demanding. You're still allowed to be hard on your players. You're allowed to yell at your players. It's not about not being able to yell at your players. Some people are out there saying, well, you can't yell at your players anymore. You can still yell at your players.
Oh, he ruined my career. He just ruined my career.
Has a
He's so mad at me.
He's
I
got-
just can't perform anymore. My vagina's all sore.
He's got the combination of new school and old school. Not many people can say they have that.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to adapt with the times, and don't get me wrong. Well, Twister, has any coach ever came up to you and kicked you or like physically tried to abuse you? No, there's no way, fuck, right?
No, yeah, I mean, once.
Really?
Yeah, just once.
Who?
I don't know. He's not around anymore. No, of course not. No, they kicked you or it's like, listen, verbally abused? Of course.
All the time.
Holy, my own player abusing me in practice. Who gave this guy a jersey?
Oh, you got pissed about. I remember that.
Well, okay, you're right. I'm not the most talented dude, but here, why not? You know what? I mean, hold on one second. Why not? We're all part of the same team. Now, when he says that, we can address that. We're teammates.
Yeah.
There's no. I mean, come on, please, somebody stop the insanity, Susan Powder.
Yeah.
That's an old time Susan Powder.
Andy knew about that.
Over my head.
Andy knew about that.
You know Susan Powder, right?
Susan,
Look her up.
Susan Powder?
Yeah.
Okay, look
No,
her
you gotta
up.
look her up.
And he acts like he doesn't know who Susan Powder is, but he does. Okay, let's be honest.
Well, no,
here.
she's the first. Never mind. I mean, it's, Susan Powder. Look it up.
Okay,
But it just, you're right on that. And I got chirped too and things like that. I never got abused. I never got physically abused by any of the coaches. Don't get me wrong. But I do think that the game has adapted to a different
Were you
mindset.
offended when you were tripped up?
No. No, the coaches didn't get mad at me, okay? Coaches didn't get fucking mad at me. I did everything they wanted me to do, and if they didn't get pissed at me, it was all because of me. If you're mad at me, I didn't get the fucking puck out of the zone, or I didn't do this. So they're mad at me for a reason. I've never had a negative thing go on in my whole career, ever. I've said this a million times, never, ever.
But your idea of negative, and some of the youngsters coming up through the Prima Donna School of Hockey have this idea that any time that they are brought to a level of interpretation that they're not understanding because they don't have the intestinal fortitude, that would be a nice word for balls, to go out there and play. Hey, dude, we didn't hire a perimeter player. What does that mean? Get your goddamn ass in the corner and dig for the puck. The front of the net's not where you belong every day, all day. We all have problems. Everybody, no hockey players, anybody in sports is no different than the average guy goes to work. We're all average guys. We're all blue-collar workers. Doesn't matter. The paycheck says something different. But, hey, for the short period of time, live the reality. We're all the same people. Yeah. We're all subject to the same terms. But, unfortunately, in this day and age, not just hockey, in every other department, HR is a big product. Where this differentiates is there's 20 guys in the dressing room. There's 20 men. We abuse the shit out of each other. All right, it's a competition. It's a bunch of sharks, a little bit of blood. You're gonna get smoked and eaten. That's part of the game. That's part of the game. Either you bring your big boy pants or just don't play.
You think it should change or no? You
No.
think that should change?
No, I don't think anything should change out there. Now, the blatant disregard for and racial slurs met with intention, there's no room for that in any sport or any dressing room or any place. None. Zero. That's different when it's meant with intention. When there's racial issues that are being brought up, and in the scope that they're being brought up now, I didn't mean anybody to get fired. Well, then why are we talking about it right now? Hold on, I'm not going to name the individual. We lost the playoffs when Keenan was coach. You know why we lost it? Because there was an individual that he absolutely destroyed in the dressing room that had a direct impact on everybody. We lost the playoffs because of Keenan's lack of understanding that player. Totally destroyed him in the dressing room before
and you saw him fall apart on the ice.
Fall apart. He disassembled. Arms were falling off. Legs were falling off. I mean, mentally incapacitated and destroyed our opportunity.
Did you like Keenan?
I was going to say the same thing.
I enjoyed him for several reasons. Now, I don't agree with everything he did. Yeah. Trust me. But you'd be hard-pressed to see some key players that can attribute their success at that time and for the graduating success for some of the things that he did. What people fail to realize is what would happen in 96? 97? 96, was it 96 when we went all the way to Detroit, second round?
Yeah.
Hold on, seventh game. Second overtime. Eiserman over the top of John Casey's shoulder. You matched that Detroit team up against our team. Now, granted, it was an odd fest and they had a stellar club. We had every bit of a stellar club. Now,
injured goaltender, right?
Right. Grand Fury in the first round out in Toronto. But think about this. We had a wily veteran. He traded, he sacrificed, he mortgaged the Blues to get that club. If we won the cup, would it be different? I'm asking that question.
Right.
Would it be different?
He'd be a legend.
Damn right.
Okay, but why are you going to hold him accountable for? I mean, I'm going to tell you what. There was not a team in the National Hockey League that came close to what we had. It all.
Let me ask you
leadership. We had veterans. We had Wayne Gretzky and Brett Hall. I mean,
did they compete in the locker room together? How was that matchup? Because Holy ran the show, and then you got Gretz coming in. How'd they go? How were they together?
They were wonderful. You know, Holly was. Everybody when Holly had to give way to only a few people.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? It's Wayne Gretzky. Come on.
Yeah.
Now, Brett Hall didn't come complete as a player or a person till he left here.
And Shane Corson was the captain too, right? He was the one who gave him the C, right? When he came in?
Of course, was granted the C.
Yes.
But he was far from the leader.
Correct.
I mean, he was a part of the team, and I keep part of it, but don't misunderstand.
Go back to what you just said, though. Go back to what you said with the Holy thing. He didn't become a complete player until he left.
Till he left St. Louis, went to Dallas.
He went to Dallas, and now he's kind of third fiddle maybe there.
Well, no, what happened, you're exactly right. What happened is that when he goes to Dallas, Ken Hitchcock is the coach. He's behind. He's no longer the number one face. You got Mike Medano. You got a
New
couple brothers over there. You know, one's played, you know, a couple Hatcher kids.
Hatcher.
I mean, he was 7th on the totem pole. Not only that, he wasn't in the first line, sometimes second, relegated to 3rd in power play. All right.
But he accepted it.
Well, he's also forced to back check.
Well, he
never had to back check.
Different stage of his career, too, right?
Oh, well, hold on. A different stage of his career, but he was forced into that stage of his career. Meaning that if it was another team, it would have been the same Brett Hull. He would have continued to do what he was doing because he would have been the first or the second line.
How was the Keenan-Gretzky dynamic?
It was good up till the end.
Is that the player he dismantled or no?
No. No, you're not dismantling Wayne Gretzky. You freaking kidding me?
Well, dismantle's not the right word. You use that word. I'm talking about.
No, I mean, destroy, dismember. You're not touching that guy. He was bulletproof.
Yeah.
I mean, when it was in the middle of the Detroit playoffs, you know, and we'd lost the first 2 games to Detroit. We'd go to Detroit and win the next 2 games. Well, Wayne was in the middle of a contract negotiation.
Right.
Number one, you shouldn't be doing that. Okay, there's a couple players that were in the contract negotiations at that time. And more than a couple. One got dismantled. Well, that wasn't the one. But think about this. Gretz isn't changing his game because it's the playoffs or he's got a contract.
He shouldn't have to either, right?
Well, no, he didn't. Shouldn't have to. He played the same way.
Plus, he's a winner, right?
Yeah, but hold on.
Cups.
He plays the same way. All right. After we win the second game in Detroit, he calls all the veterans to the back of the bus and goes, "I'm gonna be back here next year." We're dumbfounded. What do you mean? Well, we had a contract on the table, and then Mike took it off the table because he says I wasn't doing my job. We're like, are you kidding me? That was it. You could have offered Wayne a love boat full of money, and he would have laughed at it. Not coming back to that. He was disrespected, absolutely disrespected. That's the bottom line.
Like in the locker room, or like in a paper, or just...
None of that. It was all done behind doors. But I don't care if it was done behind doors or not. Why would you want to, when you're Wayne Gretzky, why are you going to work?
Yourself against everybody then.
No, you're just, why would he want to work for somebody who disrespects him?
How did that impact the rest of the team?
It didn't. You know why? Because Wayne wouldn't let it. That's the champion that he was.
Yeah.
Wayne's never. He brought the veterans back. None of the rookies. All right? And he says, after I talk about this, nobody talks about it. You know what? Nobody talked about it. Not once.
Great teammate.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
You talk to him now, he'll
one of the
look at
best
you in your
people
eyes
you'll
and
ever-
talk to you. Like, and he'll tell you, say, "Hey, Cam," and say your name.
He's
which is
one
like,
of the. He's one of. I put Al McGinnis up there as one of the best leaders I've ever played for.
Really?
Absolutely.
What made Al a great leader?
Al was one of those guys. He's stoic. Knew when to speak and knew when not to speak.
Didn't belittle you.
Never.
Presence.
Carbonell. Guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic leader. I mean, because he was, again, knowing when to speak, knowing when not to speak. A guy who had tried and tested with Stanley Cups under his belt. Guy who played for captain of the freaking Montreal Canadiens under a microscope in Canada.
Oh, God.
For all those years. A tremendous, tremendous leader. Grant Fuhr never said boo.
Yeah.
All right, but you know how he led?
Save every third period shot.
He just led us. Whether he got shattered, 6 goals, 6-1, or we won 6-0, he made stellar saves. You know what Grant did? The same damn thing every night. Got out of his equipment, took a shower, smile on his face, unless somebody wasn't performing. But meaning this, he would never say a word. But whoever wasn't doing their job, Grant would let you know by his actions. Now, what I say about the other thing about win, lose, whatever, smile on his face, we'll have another day tomorrow. But he meant it. Nothing got under his skin. It was amazing. He was a goaltender, few and far between.
Let me ask some real quick, Twister. Sometimes you go through where you play with some superstars, and we have the same role, and most guys I've ever played with, they respected the shit out of me, and even if I was playing 3 minutes a night, whatever the case was, they give you that slap on the head. Anybody that didn't do that to you, where you go out there and you fucking go anybody, you'll do anything you want. Anybody that treats you like, you're not part of this, you're one-dimensional. Anybody you play with?
Never once. Yeah. Even Holly, when he's giving me a hard time.
No, he loves you.
No, but even then, when he was doing that, he still respected what I did.
Damn right.
Al McGinnis had one of the greatest quotes ever. I'd rather have a cardboard cutout of Tony Twist on the bench than a 20th player. The question was, hey, why is that? Room to play. You gave room to play. Meaning, the best opportunity for your players and the fans to enjoy the game is to have mutual respect on both clubs. How do you establish that? It's the same thing in the primordial jungle. All right, intimidation.
Yep.
And accountability. How do you have accountability? Well, you go run Al McGinnis or Chris Pronger. I'm not coming after you. I'm going to go whack Stevie Eisman right across the ankle, and I will cross-check whoever else, and then...
Don't give a fuck.
And here's the deal. The other bench, right? Here's a great example, and I'll use Detroit again. Well, number 5, who I couldn't stand from Detroit at the time, Yap, he's a pretty big dude, too. He's played the wing. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? He's part of the threesome with, I got cross-checked by Claude Lemieux, and my mom's going to speak for me, that kid.
Number 5?
Yeah. Well, Lidstrom was the number 5.
Oh, no, number 5. No, sorry.
It's not Lidstrom.
No, number 5. Oh, he was 5 in Boston. He got traded. It was, anybody? Maltby. Draper.
McCarty.
Maltby, Draper, and LaPointe.
Oh, yeah, Marty LaPointe. He's a 25.
25.
Motherfucker.
So Marty LaPointe, we're in Detroit. Marty LaPointe cross-checks Pronger right in front of the bench and wants to fight him. Jeff Courtnall's at the bench. I said, get off. Jeff comes off the ice. I jump on the ice, drop my gloves, and he turtles. I get 2 minutes for sportsmanlike conduct. He wheels back around, big smile on his face. They score right away. I mean, now I'm thinking I'm going to get a boatload of freaking shit when I hit the bench. Mike Keenan, get out there. Hold on. They just scored. I step off. It's every off plus Lidstrom on the back end.
Oh.
All right. I guess I'm not tying the game up. Eiserman's at center ice. Scotty Bowman's the coach. They have last change. Out comes Joey Kosher. Joey lines up beside me. We both have our heads down because we both know the cameras are on. Joey goes, what are you going to do? I'm going to two-hand Eiserman. And I'm going to two-hand Eiserman. I'm not going to break his ankle or anything.
No, but he's
I'm going to send a message. And he goes, you can't do that. You're too big and I'm getting too old. I said, Joey, you know the game. Puck drops, two-hand freaking Eiserman. We drop the gloves. Linesman, get in there. We go to the penalty box. And both of us are head down. He goes, we're both laughing because we both know the game.
No shit. Yeah.
And he looks and he looks over and he goes, are you going to? No, I said, I'm not going to do anything more. I mean, the message is sent. He goes, I got it. Immediately after we get out of the penalty boxes, you could see on Joey goes to Eisman. Eisman, you can see talk to Bowman. Bowman. LaPointe doesn't see the ice again. Do you know why?
Because they know.
Because Scotty Bowman wants to retain his best players. So the message was sent not from our team. It was their team.
Yes.
With the understanding, the coach with the understanding is that I'll take the 10 games. You're just not doing that shit.
Yeah.
That, to me, allows your best players and the fans to enjoy the game way it should be enjoyed.
What do you think of the lack of fighting we see now?
Well, the game's changed, my man. Mm-hmm. I mean, to insert myself in this now? Are you kidding me? I couldn't catch anybody even on my best day.
Couldn't.
No way.
Who's that yapping?
Who's yapping over there?
Mac, be quiet.
Did you see this day coming? Like back when you're playing.
Oh, for sure.
You could see.
Us
getting to a point with hardly any fighting.
With all due respect, there's 99 2000. I could see the last of the gunslingers are out of the game. The Kaiser Soches were being eliminated. And Cam was part of the graduation of you need to be a player with some speed. You got to get there. You got to hit. You got to look at both sides of the ice. Hold on. I wasn't responsible for that. Cam was. So we understood. Cam skated a hell of a lot better than I did. And he had better stick handling skills than I did. All right? But at the end of the day, here, you needed to be.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you wouldn't have had a job.
No.
You wouldn't have had a job. I was allowed to sit on the bench all game and be called out maybe once. This guy nuclear power.
I need to be able to. And people always like, oh, you played 10 years because you fought. No, you didn't. I played 10 years because I was able to hit guys consistently. That's it. And I was able to stick up for myself.
But
You
also
had to be able to hit.
But you put your team in a position to succeed on a daily basis. When you played in Jersey, you understood what your job was. You weren't out there. You weren't a talent pool. You weren't the guy that had to put points on the board. But you gave the ability for the rest of everybody else to do their job. But you still had to play.
Oh, gotta get the damn puck out of the zone. People don't get that.
Here's the beauty about it. You had to think about two things. Stop. You had to think about two things. You had to think about the guy you're going to fight tonight, the guy you have to fight in 2 weeks.
Yep.
But you also had to think about, man, I can play both sides of the ice. Are we trapping today?
What's the system?
What's the system? Who am I? You had to think about all those things. You know what I had to think about? When Mike Keenan hired me in 1994, I was an unrestricted free agent, got dropped by Quebec. Chris Simon got signed over there.
Yeah, for good money too, right?
No, There's a classic example guy had all the skills.
Oh,
my good Lord.
Oh.
But think about
scored goals, man.
Well, yeah, and he was scary.
Oh, with that long hair.
A lot of guys back then could put the puck in the net, though, right?
Yes, but not a guy like myself.
No.
When Keenan hired me, he said, Tony, they're great. I mean, this is one of the things why I enjoyed Keenan. Would you like to play? I would love to. And he goes, okay. They gave a run out of the lineup, and he goes, where do you insert yourself? Oh, I don't. I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, how many minutes in a game? I said 60. And he goes, no, there's 360. Okay, how? Well, Grant Fear's going to play net, and I'll just use they use different players, but I use that team the last year. Fears is going to play 60. All right, now there's 300. McGinnis is going to play 30. Now there's 270. And then he made a trade for Pronger, but I'll use, Shanahan played 25 minutes. He ticked on down the line. And there's like 6 minutes left. That's it. And he goes, power play and penalty killing. Now we're in the negatives. He goes, where are you fitting? I said, I'm not. He said, good. I'm hiring you to do a job. Do it. That was it. That was
Wow.
But that was available to me then, not to you.
Anybody ever scare you?
Great question.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Okay, how about this? Let me rephrase that. Twister, no one should scare you. Don't get me wrong. But is anybody where I have trouble with this son of a bitch?
Nope.
He throws hard lefts like Simon.
Sure.
And I got to trade with him.
But that's no different than anybody else. Let me tell you something. You start treating, and everybody asks the same question. Who's the toughest guy you fought?
I know. I get it.
You know what? My answer is this, and honestly, mentally, the most honest answer that it is the truth. I treated everybody the same.
Exactly.
I mean, to a T. Fighting Simon, Bob Probert, whoever it was, I didn't think of that guy who came in who got called up from the minors and going, I'm going to destroy him. Never. I'm going.
Okay, but what about this, Twister? Stoyanov, when I'm fucking 11 years old at my buddy's house and you square off with him and he throws his gloves and you take your fucking gloves and you take your time and you bend over and you lay him down like, fuck you, I'm going to kill you.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because I had no respect for Stoyanov, for number one. Number two, I've been chasing him and Ojic for freaking 2 years, and neither of them would get on board. We're in Vancouver, and all of a sudden he has his big fucking balls, and I go, all right, son, not only am I going to beat the shit out of you, I'm going to send a message to everybody here in Vancouver and your team that I own you. When I placed my gloves on the ice, that was a message. The message was, anybody else? That was it. Quiet. Done.
You knew when you had somebody else scared, though, right? You could see it in their eyes, right, when they were scared?
Oh, when I played on it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Would you take it easy on those guys or
Never.
no?
Everybody's the same. You know what? Here's the thing. Guys would get called up from the minors, and you know what? It's a measuring stick. All right? If you're the measuring stick, you know you're the king. All right? When you're a measuring stick, guys calls up in the minors, what does he want to do? He wants to fight you his first game. First shift out there. You want to go? I said, eventually. Well, let's go now.
You're on my time.
No. Right? Exactly. Hold on. You just got out of the minors, and I'm wearing the belt right now. I'll decide when we go.
My time.
So every time he stepped on the ice, whether I was on there or not, looking Just looking, he could not play a shift. His entire game was screwed until we fought. And you could see it on his eyes. You could feel it. You could smell the fear. You could smell like, God, I want to get this over with.
Yep.
I never had that feeling ever. What I did, you could, on the other guys, you could actually destroy them by, finally, the second period, at some point at the end of the second, it's time to go. You can see the relief. Whether it takes a beating or not, you can see the relief. And it's, finally, we get to go. Because the third period comes and you get to see, it's over. Yeah.
Twister.
Why wouldn't you play on it? I used to do Mr. T workouts after the game. You know what that is? Hurry up. I never played a whole bunch, right? So after the game, hurry up in the gym. I disappear, take all my gear off, hurry up, go to the gym, do the Mr. T workout, get just inflated, all pumped up.
Yeah.
And then I go out and fix a stick like I need to fix a stick. I had one shift the entire game.
Let everybody know Daddy's home.
Right. So I'd be out there, fixing the stick as they're all, because I timed it so they're all going to the bus.
Yep.
And they're looking at me going, holy shit. Well, you know what that is? That's just one more seed to plant when they line up against me going off. Remember how big he was?
That's what Andy does before our skates.
That's a mental. So back to your question, original question. Absolutely. Fear and intimidation. The more you think about me, the less you think about the job.
Because I've asked Cam this question, and I've asked a lot of guys. Do you fight angry? Are you trying to hurt the other player?
I turn it on and I'm angry every time.
You do?
I'm angry every time.
It's a job to me. And I'll tell you what.
I turn it on, though. I'm happy and I turn it on.
Right. Good. Everybody's got their motivation.
You didn't fight angry.
Never did I. I promise you.
Really?
Never did. No. I mean, you might have thought I was angry, but hell no. Here's the deal. I always fought with intention. It's a job. All right? It's always a job. It's a job, and if you fight angry, if you're turning it on, you're not thinking straight. In my mind, you're turning it on because that's your motivation.
Yes.
But you didn't fight angry. That was your motivation, but in your head.
I forced it.
Yeah, but in your head.
I'm not mad at anybody.
You're not even mad when you're fighting.
No.
You know why? Because all of a sudden, all that skill set that you work so hard to get goes out the door because you're not thinking.
How about I thought you had to be fearless. Okay,
you should always have fear.
Have fear,
but never be scared.
Be scared. Respect. Like I don't give a. Just like you said, I don't give a fuck who it is. You got McGrattan one night who's 6'7", then you got this Rick Rippon kid that's 5'9", and I'm like, this guy throws bullets at you. Like I had to have a style for each fighter because I wasn't that big, but I had to be fearless, and I had to have some sort of game plan, or else you're gonna get fucking tattooed. But it was a light switch, happy to not happy, and you had to force.
But how many times did you fight that guy in your head prior to getting there? That's the deal. See, now
that fucked me up more than anything.
Because I don't care who you are, any guy that did the job, unlike a guy like Bob Probert, I don't respect in the world for him. He was a measuring stick for guys like myself.
Totally.
But dude, he played on the first and second line. Stop it. He's playing 20 minutes. I'm playing
an all-star
3.
game.
Yeah, and I'm playing 3. He's playing. And then after we're done, he still goes out and does the job. Hold on. That's a mental screw over if I've ever seen one. Because he was still the top of the freaking game as a heavyweight and still was on the first and second line. Dave Semenko, same way with Gretz. And, Eisenman speaks volumes about Bobby P. Wayne Gretz has nothing but, Dave Semenko gave me the chance.
And you could see it on the bench. Anytime Proby fought, look at Eisenman on the bench. Or if he was on the ice, watch out. Eisenman stand on the bench and look. Like, they were so into it.
Well, because he gave that chance.
They talk about you the same way. I mean, a lot of the star players.
I'm sure.
They talk about you the same way. Now, you watch hockey today or no?
Nope, I haven't watched. I really haven't watched the game.
Have you seen his house? If you look around, this is what he's doing.
I don't.
I'm at his house.
I'm disenchanted with the game. I really am.
Intentionally?
No, it just happened. The game, no intention. When I first retired, I watched the game. But then, like you asked me the question, did you see fighting going out the door? Man, in 99, 2000, that's where it all kind of...
So if there was fighting, you still watch?
No, that's not true either. You got to fight for the right reasons. These guys now, there's not a whole bunch of fighting. But here's the thing. Our team, those teams that I've played with, from the Joey Sakis, Matt Sundin, Owen Nolan games there, we all played for one thing. It wasn't the number and it wasn't the nameplate. It was the crest in front of us. Now, if you watch and you see the Stanley Cup winners now, like this team when Berube took over, prior to that, every dude on that team was playing for that freaking nameplate. What did Berube do?
Crest.
Gelled them.
Just like how he played, he was a warrior.
Oh, dude.
They had a fight about
Gelled
you the other
all
day with him.
that talent, gelled that talent, and said, you guys play for the nameplate, you're the frick out of here.
Get that.
You
Yep.
play for the crest and for each other in this dressing room. That's why he won the Stanley Cup.
Damn right.
Every Stanley Cup winner on the way down, those teams play for this. But I see too many teams now where guys are playing for the nameplate, and you can just see it. You can see it every shift, and I'm going, holy shit. I mean, it's, if you're watching it from upstairs where we watch the game, and you see it and you have an active participant because you know what's going on, how do you not be disenchanted, man? Because you can see the guys playing selfishly and not for the team, for themselves. I can't get there. I'm sorry. I just cannot get there. I was so pissed off watching the game. I said, I'm not going anymore.
You watch any of the games in the final or the playoffs
Zero.
last year?
Zero.
0.
I went to the game.
No, yeah, you went to the game.
I went to the game.
Yeah.
Did I watch it? No.
No, you're talking to people all damn
Talking,
time.
I don't give a shit.
Jesus Christ. He can't go anywhere.
But
by
I
the
didn't.
way.
But here, I didn't want to. I had no interest. I really did not have any interest.
Did it become too? Did you become too big in St. Louis? You became so fucking popular. I remember watching you. And Twister, I'll say this real quick, and I've told this story before, but you got me in hockey. Okay, my dad would take me down. You would do your thing on the ice. Then you take your fucking jersey off in the penalty box.
That's awesome.
And then all the women would look at you and be like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Dad, I want to be him. I want to be him."
That's fucking awesome.
Dude, you became so popular. Was it too much to handle in this town sometimes, man? It's such a bubble here. You can't go anywhere, Twister. Did you get sick of?
No, I never got sick of it. Here, let me. I'll get to that question. The reason why I never did.
Okay.
We're in Detroit, and it's we're back in Detroit playoffs. Wayne Gretzky, coming off the bus right in the middle of Greek town. We're getting off and going to the hotel. Pulls me aside. He said, "Hey, Twister, I'm going to sign autographs. Would you mind just standing by? And when I give you the nod, can you come get me?" So we all get off the bus. Everybody, Holly, Holly signed a few. And I'm like,
Get out of here.
okay. You know what Gretz did? He sat there and he signed. So 15 minutes go by, 20 minutes, half an hour, 35, 40, 50, an hour. 10 minutes later, you know what Wayne says? He gives me the nod, and I come over and say, "Hey, Wayne, we got a meeting to go to." Not one person asked for one more. Not one single freaking Detroit fan said a word. They respected him. He was there for an hour and 10 minutes, and he goes, "I got to go to a meeting." You know what those people did? Freaking applauded him on the way out. Going into the hotel, I go, that's the most amazing
It's unbelievable.
thing I've seen in the game of hockey. Meaning this, he didn't have to do that.
Robert Petrovicki walked by and didn't sign autographs.
I'm just telling you, that's what I'm saying. But nobody wanted his.
No shit,
But they all wanted his. Wayne Gretzky's. And he said one of the best things I've ever heard. He goes, if you go out anywhere, be prepared to sign autographs and be part of the community. If you don't want to be, don't go out.
Don't go out. Don't do anything.
Period. What a fantastic piece of advice.
Unbelievable.
You know what's interesting? So, we're in your house here, and, if I didn't know I was at Tony Twist's house, you'd never know. I don't see one picture. I don't see one jersey. I don't see any. And
I would know it was yours.
you're one of the most recognizable names of your era, not only in St. Louis, but across the board in the National Hockey League. But you don't hang on to that, do you?
No, I have new memories. Here's the thing. I really enjoyed hockey. Please don't misunderstand.
No, yeah.
I freaking loved the game. I mean, I was a student of the game. I could tell you, I didn't need a name or a number for any team. Just watching the guys skate, I could tell you who it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a student of the game. I didn't have the skill set. Guys, Haas, Holly was one of the classic examples where expected everybody to have the same skill set. I'm like, bro, if we all did, I'll tell you what, it would be amazing, but we don't. But the point being is that everybody's got to have new memories. And I started new memories. When I say I divorced myself from the game, it wasn't because I watched it a few times, but when the game changed, dude, I don't give a shit. It's not part of my repertoire.
All right, so you get done with a great career, Twister, and he's smacked.
Hold on, you got to do that again. I was shooting him, Mike.
You're all right. No, it's part. This is all part of it. Okay, this is all part of it.
Right.
So you get done with everything, and so right when you retire, actually before you retire, how'd your retirement all go down? We know you got into a nasty motorcycle accident. You were big on the Harley. I remember having your picture with the Harley Davidson on the wall. in my room. How'd that all go down? Can you explain that whole accident?
Wait,
You're
you had a picture of Twister in your room?
Yeah.
On a Harley?
On a Harley. Damn right. Oh, is that weird? I'm sorry. He was my idol. I'm sorry. Who'd you have?
well,
He has Taylor Swift in his room right now.
No, Strick has like one of my photos, but it's above the headboard.
Yeah, well,
And it's not for him.
I'm not acting like yours wasn't either.
Well,
So explain that whole thing, man. That was a fucking big deal.
It was
you
a
signed
big
with
deal.
Philly too, didn't you?
No, I was going to.
Yeah.
I was like the next day. There was a 3-year contract.
3-year deal?
Almost $1 million a year. Yeah, it was.
That would have been the most you ever made as a player, correct?
Shitballing me, of course.
Fuck yeah.
I didn't come close to that. I mean, $1 million a year it was a $3 million
What
contract.
year was that?
It was 99-2000. So it was the 9th of August in 99, and the story as it goes. Well, I mean, I told the story. It was an RFT. It was a 4-page piece, but my first ex-wife, I was cheating on her with April, and I was trying to find out where she was at, and I was at the intersection of Olive and Fifi, and I was on the cell phone. I had that chopper that's out there, big ape hangers, about 9-10 feet long, and the ape hangers are all the way up here. Suicide shift. So she was telling me where to go. The light turned green, so I put the phone in my mouth to hold it to get to the next stoplight, and
Big ass phone, probably.
it was a flipper.
Oh,
It was a flip phone. I was progressive back then. Then I graduated to BlackBerry, but the government took those. So I was way up here, and I was just switching second to third gear, and I was probably touching 50 miles an hour. It went right past that gas station on the right, and then what used to be that smoked chicken joint, and there's nobody on the road. There's zero. It's Sunday. I think it was a Sunday. Excuse me. And the guy pulls out and stops. Right in because there's 5 lanes there.
Yeah.
2 on that side, a turning lane, and 2 more. Just stops like a deer in the headlights. There's nobody on the road, guys. I have no options. I can't turn it because it's a chopper. I'm not going to get anywhere. Leaning on the brakes wasn't going to help because it was from here to that door, which is 30 feet. Laid off the gas and in all slow motion. As soon as I hit, I pull myself with the handlebars. Well, I mean, I kind of did that. My balls went off the gas tank. You can see where the big indentation. I would travel 55 feet, did 1 somersault, landed on my legs, skidded like Freddie Flintstone stopping his car, and laid down. Then I laid backwards, looking up, and man, that's not too bad. I mean, I didn't hit my head or anything, and reached down to feel my knee, and there's a huge hole in my left knee.
Oh, God.
Well, I might not make training camp. And then I realized I got no gear on. My underwear, my jeans, and a 3-inch leather belt were on the handlebars of my chopper. And my chopper was still running in the driver's door.
Oh, my God.
There's a gal comes running up, and she goes, "Are you okay?" No. Can you cover me up? Can I use your phone? No, I already called the ambulance. I got to use your phone. So I called my lawyer first, then I called my then Jocelyn, told her what happened, and it went on from there. I mean, it was actually it's a great story. It's in there was an RFT write-up. You got to read that one because it's the unbridled version. It'd take too long to tell.
Well, what happened?
Well, at the end being is I was in intensive care for 72 hours, and after I went to that hospital there on Olive. They got me in there. Doc comes in after doing and I'm fully lucid, really not feeling any pain at that point because, the endorphins are going. And he goes, "Are you religious?" So I said, "No, I mean, you can bring a priest in, but rent the Titanic if you want to go through this." And he goes, "Why do you ask?" "Well, we got some forms you need to sign." I go, "Okay." And this is for a blood transfusion. This is what's going on? We'll give you a 10% chance of living, not a 10% of living, because I was bleeding internally.
Yeah.
My pelvis had split in the front and the back, and the bleeding was so bad. He said, "If you don't slow down, if it doesn't slow down, we have to operate. Have you been drinking?" I said, "No, I haven't drank in months." And he goes, "Good, that'll play in your favor. But you're going to be in intensive care. We can't do anything with you until we find out what's going here." So after 72 hours of intensive care, it slowed down, and then in that term, they couldn't do anything with my knee or my foot or anything. And at that point, it was coming to Jesus, if I believed in him, that it was going to be the end of it.
Never played again.
No, I didn't play again. And here's the worst part of this whole deal. You don't get a laugh at it because it wasn't really worrying about hockey at this point. It was a departure. I knew I wasn't going to play again.
Yeah.
The thing I was worried about is that I disconnected the nerve from the bottom of my scrotum all the way to the center of my back where I had no erection abilities.
Oh.
Hold on. At all. I mean, it was like, so when I went to the doctor, I go, well, what's going on? He's like, disconnected the nerve. It's going to digress a millimeter a day till it hits the back of your spine. Then it's going to grow back to the bottom of your scrotum. Theoretically. I go, what do you mean? It may or may not grow back. Well, how will I know? You won't. It'll be 9 months to a year. I go, hold the phone. Are you trying to tell me that there's no way? No. The nerve's got to digress and then grow back. You won't know till the day it happens.
Oh, my God.
You want to talk about a 33-year-old man who's lost the ability to, I could have flaccid Fred, here, and there was that was the worst out of the whole deal. Then one day it was like, oh, hey, ooh, April. It was it. Yeah, that was the worst part.
You were starting to get back into the game at that point, too.
No, not at all. You sure I wasn't?
No. Back into the going out.
Oh,
game.
yeah, of course. I know, but I was, let me tell you guys, that's not pretty. All that other shit, because that probably helped graduate the whole, not lost with hockey no more. It was, life's a beautiful thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Then you started doing television, right?
I did, with ESPN. And we did, longest running charter show ever, the Chalk Talk.
I did that with you several times.
Yes, you did. You weren't bad. That was in your infancy. You've changed. You're a lot better now.
He looks the same.
Yeah, I don't think he ages.
He doesn't age. It's crazy.
It's pretty weird.
So what happened with the ESPN thing? So you did that. You get, you're very, very popular, very outgoing. You're very witty. And then what? And then so
from the ESPN, I did a couple of years there, and it was. I was a little too edgy, I think, at that point. Yeah, that much. And, when I wasn't willing to play the cock juggling games to advance, it just really wasn't my gig. I'm not, I'm not bending over backwards or compromising the principles of who I is. Yeah. And I mean, not because of any other, I wasn't capable. I'm still not. Meaning this is what I do and how I did it. And the job went out the door. And at that point, too, the game was starting to change. A lot of the guys that I played with, the guys that passed the baton, the old timers that told stories in the back of the bus and helped the youngsters, learn the game. They were going by the wayside, and the game was changing. I just lost flavor for it, 100%. And I divorced myself from it.
But then you started doing TV locally, though.
I did with Chalk Talk with Randy Character. Scott Whitmire was the DJ was on the other side. We had a rotating fourth seat, and you were there a few times. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed that. That was a heck of a lot. I mean, that was just fun. Once every Monday, we had a great time. And did some radio. Did ESPN radio for a year with Malcolm. Mm-hmm.
And with Smash too, right? I remember you interviewing me one time.
And then out of a favor for my man, who used to own all the Sprint stores here in town, he decided to buy a radio station. The one actually that. The Man. Do you remember that?
Yeah. 5'9" The Man.
Worst idea in the history of radio.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, the woman. I thought the woman might be
maybe the worst
5'9" The woman's the worst
experience that I've ever been a part of.
What?
Terrible.
What was?
The Man and the Woman.
Oh, yeah. The both of them.
I mean, it just didn't work.
No, it didn't work, and everybody was selling Dan out, too, in that station. Every single
Strauss?
Or Dan. The guy who owned all the Sprint stores.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Marshall,
my bad. Yeah.
And, I pulled into Dan's office one day. I said, one of two things are going to happen, Dan. I love you. And me and Smash are here for you, but I'm done. If we're not there, I don't enjoy it. But all these dirtbags here, they're undermining you like it's their job. Like they're screwing you over. Somebody's going to get knocked out. And I ain't going to be the white ninja either. The white ninja. Anyways.
You are the white ninja, aren't you?
That's a little inside story there. Bite your tongue, son.
But you had opportunities after that.
I did. And
you did some stuff with the Blues TV and with
a little bit here and there.
Well, you had Twister's Bar.
I had the post-game show for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And then the year of the lockout, I had to deal with the casino, and then that didn't happen. The casino had to spend their dollars prior to December for the 30th or 31st, and I said, well, it's going to start. Well, we got to spend the dollars or we lose them. And then after that, the Blues pushed me out. I mean, realistically, the job was still there. But, when I put my hand into the circle, and they said, no, not you.
They mean they push you out like what?
No, I had the job. Like there at this point, there was a transition from the year that Bernie took.
Yeah.
My hand was in my name was in that hat, and they turned me over.
All right, so then you started to open up the restaurant, the bars.
And that was fun for a little bit.
How many did you have?
I enjoyed it. It was great. Enjoyed the.
How many locations?
We had 2, and then the adult babysitting service got old.
Brandon Bullock help you with that?
Who? Brad was like, I tell you, Bullock.
Fucking awesome.
I tell
and he
you,
probably wheeled so many girls or something.
I'm going to tell you
what.
Oh my god. He was in my kitchen cooking. All right. I love Bullock.
Love him.
He was a good dude. I mean,
fucking
I tell you
wheel. What a wheel.
He was funny. I tell you what. I mean,
tough motherfucker, Stanley Cup champ.
He was great. I enjoyed him. And you know what? He's working in my kitchen, and still playing hockey. I appreciate that because, he had to make ends meet.
Damn right.
He came from the dirt. He came from
fucking St. Charles, but mommy and daddy didn't have money.
But he
fucking did it.
Really worked it all the way in the bottom.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, he was it was a one league away from the East Coast. I mean, he was down there and working himself up.
Worked
Good
all the
for
way
him.
Up. Fucking awesome guy.
Yeah, really
Love
was.
him.
And won a Stanley Cup championship.
But you just got rid of that. Where it's just too much. Like this was dipshits. And Twister, could you hold yourself whenever you got dipshits in that fucking bar?
I had no problems. You know what? I hired guys. I never hired bouncers. I hired, all around guys. Never gave the address of a bouncer. They're not big guys there, ever. Never had one big guy. Why? Because smaller guys will find a reason not to fight.
Yeah.
The big guys will find a reason to do it.
Yeah. They want it.
Because they want it. You know what? You got all the balls. You'll fight 4 guys at the bar, but you don't have the balls enough to quit your job because you don't like it. But this is going to come here and take it out here?
Yeah. I hear you.
So, but it was the adult babysitting services got old. That's really what it was. Adult babysitting.
So what are you doing now?
When?
He's hanging with us right now.
Right now, I'm hanging out with you guys. Later on, I'm going to have a masturbation session if you guys want to stick by. And then
I'm going to hang out for a little bit.
No, I have a windshield repair and replace.
You fixed my windshield once.
We do. I do fleet management.
Yeah.
I'm in the game of. I'm not taking calls from. I don't advertise. It's not on the internet. I do fleet management. Do the UPSs, the FedExes of the game. Your big truck companies, all the trash companies. And I enjoy it a lot.
What was the story with the comic books?
Interesting story.
That is so weird.
Hold on.
What the
That's
fuck?
Wait, how long do you got? Because
Go ahead.
it goes for years.
How long do you got?
No, I got tons of time, but it's a really in-depth story.
So just take us to the point where you ended up suing and winning.
I'll give you the
lawsuit,
beginning.
right?
My mom calls me and says, "Hey, son, I can't believe you're part of this." And I go, "What?" You're on a trading card set, and Todd McFarlane was the creator of Spawn. Spawn was the most popular by far and away a comic book / adult comic book / HBO special in the game. And he had an affection for hockey, and he had 5% ownership of the Oilers, and he was a hockey fan, And I was one of the characters in his book. Antonio Twistelli was my name. Yeah. AKA Tony Twist, associated my name, the hockey card, to the creation of the character. And I think at some point he thought I might find that, enthusiastic or, no. And my mom called me. She was in tears. I can't believe you did this. And I go, did what? She goes, you're part of this trading. I said, I have no clue. Mom, sent it to me. She sent it to me. Whoa. I called Bob Blitz. And I said, Bob, I got a problem, And he goes, yeah. I called Todd and said, hey, just take me out of the thing. I'm not interested. No, not doing that. It's a First Amendment deal. And I go, oh, okay then. Well, we didn't write the First Amendment. You're going to use my name for pecuniary advantage, and make money and not pay me. That's not happening. Mm. So it ended up being a battle.
He didn't offer to pay you.
We wanted to make a donation. I didn't want money. He said, I'll make a donation to your favorite charity or whatever. I said, that's great. You can pay me. I don't give a shit. Just take me out of the freaking. It wasn't about money, Strick. It wasn't about money. Now, Bob was in it for the long run. I mean, there was at some point, there was a monetary attachment to the firm of Blitz, Parget, and Deutsch, a huge financial. At that point, it became, we're going to aggressively pursue that not for me, but for you and for my family too at some point, because it was, obviously it was winning. We won in '94 after 3 years. We went to 3 years of pre-suit shit. Or not '94, sorry, in 2001. Because in '94 is when it came out, the card. So we won in 2000 with $15,000, $16,000, and then it was overturned. And then we went back to court in 2006 or 7, something like that, or 2005, I forget.
$15 million.
That was the first verdict.
Okay.
And the second one was comparable to that.
Okay, you said 15,000.
Yeah,
15 million.
Million, I meant.
Yeah,
15 million.
Yeah.
And then the second verdict was comparable to that. And in the interim, he'd shuffled companies and bankrupted this and whatever. And the settlement came out to whatever, maybe it wasn't even close to the 15 million.
So did you ever get paid?
I did. I got paid.
Millions or what?
No. It was, I mean, all said and done, it was a profitable piece, and it was lucrative. But let me say this: it wasn't something that I was counting on at any point,
Or expecting,
or whatever. I knew we were. Listen, Bob's a bull. Yeah. I mean, he's a tremendous lawyer. We knew we were going to win, but winning's not the game. It's collecting. Mm-hmm. We won once, got overturned, won a second time, and then we had to settle for considerably less just because of what was going on. So at the end,
how does that work? They write you a big fat check?
I don't know how fat it was in comparison. No, it wasn't fat. It was a check, and Bob took out whatever his. Because Bob was doing it. Mm-hmm. He was fronting all the cash. Mm-hmm. That wasn't no cheap suit. We're talking years and years. Hold on, you see this room here?
Yeah. Imagine
this room from that bar set all the way to here, about 8-9 feet high, full of boxes of papers. Holy shit. You're talking about a paper shuffle. There was only 2 guys on my side of the table. There was 8 lawyers on their side, plus all their scribers, and it looked ridiculous. I mean, it looked like fucking David and Goliath. There's Goliath over there. We're literally, when they walked in, there was 30 people on that side. There's me and 2 other people. That was it.
But they were the cartoon was kind of like
it was shady. It was
dark to women and stuff.
It was very dark,
right?
Very dark. It was a very dark character. It was a dark.
It wasn't like a superhero that did shit.
Here, I was in the HBO special. This will make an introduction, just so if you want to be interested. Yeah. Here's the HBO piece. When I'm on HBO, I'm wearing thong panties. They're pink. I'm an overweight dude, hair all over my chest. I'm smoking a cigar. I got sunglasses on, and there's 2 girls having fellatio with each other on the couch.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, knocked the knob off the top of my mic.
Well, fellatio will do that for you.
Yes, and then I was on the phone saying, "Go whack that motherfucker." Some guy's kids. That was me on. That was HBO. That language, and there's nakedness and fellatio. But that's not where I wanted to be portrayed. I didn't want anybody to think that was what I was into.
Right.
Even though that was probably happening at the house at the time, you just didn't want it to.
It may happen, but you don't know about it.
So you sue for that much money, but you don't collect all of it because he went bankrupt.
We didn't sue for any amount of money. There was no suing for an amount of money. At the end there was jury instructions, but the jury instructions and the amount of money was pertinent to what the jury instructions were. The first one was turned over because the judge in the first one they had made a case that the jury instructions weren't informative enough. There wasn't enough. For second verdict, that was the verdict, and there was no other way they could go. But it wasn't an amount of money. The jury awarded.
So the jury awarded you a certain number, but you didn't collect all of that because he went bankrupt and didn't have the money.
No, we didn't go bankrupt. I didn't collect anywhere near it because there's a lot going on in that court case for us to engage. Mm-hmm. If you want to really it's being taught in every college.
Really?
Every college in the United States, that case is being taught right now.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a teaching item now. That was how precedent setting that case was. God. It's being taught right now.
And are you sitting in there in the courtroom and everything, or you just hand it over to the lawyer and let them?
Oh, what are you kidding me? I'm there every day.
Oh, fuck.
Every day. Every single. I ate sushi one day and shit myself. I had to excuse myself for a bit.
I've done that before. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna
You blame it on the sushi.
Little inside.
I mean, it's not gonna lie.
Just a little inside.
Jesus Christ. How you feel now, though, Twister? I know
I feel amazing.
You got a fucking martial, but like that, your head's okay. Like I mean, I
My
feel
head's
okay.
my head was never a problem. I didn't give
never
any.
really got
I never
caught
gave
much.
any. All right, but my head's fine.
You fucked up a couple guys.
Of course.
You
but
fucked up a couple guys.
Here's the thing. With the understanding, I'm earning my paycheck as you are and any other pro athlete every day to the day you die. Hey, well, when you're done hockey, I'm still earning that paycheck. At 51 years old, I earn that paycheck every freaking day I get up because 23 surgeries later, 17.
23?
23, and 17 of those related to the game. All right, so with the understanding, I'm still earning that paycheck every day I get up, and I'm reminded. Would I give a day up of that? Never. No. Am I bitching and complaining? Not one. I'm not, not riding the coattails. And when the NHL Players Association or a lawsuit for, I get it. Based upon a few players, okay? The bandwagon, the guys that jumped on, no respect for. A guy like Mike Peluso, goddamn, he deserves every freaking penny he's to deserve. I'll tell you why. And he should, because it's a travesty of the game what was done to a guy like himself. I mean, Mike was abused in that, and he should never been. It's a joke what they did to him. And there's a couple other players, but the bandwagon where you can blatantly see guys that are saying, well, when you put the name on the contract, it's no different than the HA, the Hell's Angel contract, will distribute drugs, will solicit prostitution, may probably kill, will go to jail, period. That's in the contract. Contract in the game of hockey's, I know what I was doing. You knew what you were doing, Cam. You knew exactly what you're doing. Are you going to try to tell me, well, I got hurt while I was under the name of my contract? Yeah. Come on, stop the insanity. But I get it with guys like Mike, and there's a few other players where they were forced back into the game prematurely where they should have never been playing. Yeah. To Mike's credit, he battled through it. And you know what the turning point was for him?
What?
The game that him and I fought in Quebec. And he says, and
oh my God.
It's Mike and I played together, and he's a good friend. And after watching, there's a very interesting, brings tears to my eyes when I'm thinking about it. But, I've talked to him since where his turning point was Jersey comes into town. They're up 3-0. And we're, facing off. And, we got to go, Mike. Okay. We're tilting. And I hit him.
He's throwing lefts against your rights.
Right. And I hit him right in the button. And he's out on his feet. Now I'm loading up for another one. He's going down. Now I see he's out. I pull up on it.
Yeah, you did.
I pull up, but I'm still going. I'm still falling. I hit him the second time, but trust me, it wasn't. No. I pulled everything. It was just momentum.
It was a UFC when he's out.
Oh, dude, no. I got respect. Like, he was out on his feet. I mean, he went limp down. So, but his head came off the ice. I hit his head again, then hits the ice again. Done. All right. That was in the first period. So he's in our dressing room, and he is. Man, I'm telling you what, he's not doing good. Come in, I say, Mike, are you all right? He goes, greatest line ever. Every gunslinger has their day. Today wasn't my day. Okay, but that was the most intelligent thing he ever said for a week. Let me tell you. So when he got back into the shower, Mike's telling me a story. He was asking guys if they won. They're telling him, yeah, he scored the game winner. Like, honest to God, like he had no clue. He went, they had a road swing, after that. And he went to they played in the island, and he fought Baumgartner. And, he got, lefty. Yeah, they got, traded punches. He didn't get killed. But here's the thing. After that, he with the understanding that he was showering after the game, all the players could see that his head, he didn't know where he was. Dude, he had no clue. Neuendijk stuck up for him. They're pedaling the bike. He went, boom, down while pedaling the bike when he was out. That was the beginning of the end for him.
How do you reflect on your career as a whole? What do you think of when you think of your career? What comes to mind?
In what regards? There's lots of things that come to mind. I got to see the best cities, go to the best restaurants, eat some of the greatest food, rub shoulders with the who's who, stay at these beautiful hotels, and they paid me to beat the shit out of people, which is awesome. Well, what part? And I enjoyed it. What part? Now, in between, there's a lot of things you could fit in there, but that's just the Reader's Digest version. great Reader's Digest, but you can insert a lot of things into there.
What would you do differently?
Not a damn thing.
Nothing.
No, because everything was successful for me to that point. Meaning, my entire career was successful. There was downs and ups and whatever. But what happens if you correct that? It's the butterfly effect. What the hell is going to happen? There's not a thing I wouldn't change. All of the same, I enjoyed it. Shit went wrong. Shit happened. Good things happened. I wouldn't change a damn thing. At all. At the end of the day, you know as well as I do, Cam, and you've been around dressing rooms for 20 years.
He's been bird watching for a while.
So you know.
That's all you got.
So the guys that appreciate the game. Mm-hmm. You've interviewed guys, and I've heard it where the question's great. The answer is like so evasive. You know who the guys are. The imposters, the one collecting a paycheck, the one who enjoys the game.
I hear you.
You know the fighters that enjoyed fighting. Cam enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. But I'm sure you, and I know you have.
And he knows, man.
You know the guys are like, you ask the question, and the answer is not coinciding with the way they act. Mm-hmm. All right? A lot of guys in that game. There's a lot of guys in the game at that point that, they knew what the paycheck was, but they sure the heck didn't enjoy it.
Is there any part of you that still wants to be involved with the game?
Not at all. Is that quick enough? Not at all.
What if I invited you to something that would be fun? Would you come in?
It depends what that is. What do you constitute as
I don't know.
fun?
Let me think of something.
Putting skates on, getting on the
Never.
ice.
I haven't put the skates on for 10 years, 15 years. Won't do it again.
But if I put an event on and I called Chaser he'd be there in 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
I've fucking done that.
Absolutely.
Before.
I'll be there,
Chaser's
but I'm not
there
putting
the whole fucking time.
He should be too.
Twister's there.
No, Chaser will be there. I won't. No, Chaser will be.
I just said Chaser twice.
Yeah, but Chaser, you'll be there. I won't.
Twister, you
I
were
won't.
there whenever I put an event on. You were there in 2 seconds.
Of course I would. But I'm not going to put the skates on.
No, I don't blame you on that. I don't blame you.
I'm there for you in that regard.
I know
but I'm not there for. I'm not putting the wheels on. There's nothing I miss about the game. Zero.
You don't even have your equipment here, do you?
I don't have any equipment. Don't even have skates. Don't have gloves.
So you have 15 bikes in front of you. He's got everything else.
I don't have a stick. Not that I need one, but I don't have one of those. Guys who wanted to play, old time rec hockey. You mean the place where they're going to kick you out if you fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Well, you wouldn't fight now. You going to want to fight?
No, don't want to.
No, but
Hold on. Let me tell you. I was playing rec hockey in Saskatoon during the summer.
Yeah.
I was playing Tier 3 rec hockey. The guy wanted to fight me. Hold on. Dude, do you not know what I... And the guy pushed it and pushed and pushed. He dropped the gloves. He had a mask and a full cage on.
Punch that fucking thing right off
Hold
you.
on. He's a blue-collar dude. I'm wearing a Jofa, and he pushing the envelope. He's a terrible skater. And I'm thinking, why are you picking on me? Of anybody else on this club?
That happened to you a lot at bars and stuff like that?
Not at all.
Yeah, neither did I.
Not at all, because I'm not looking for it. But this guy on the ice was like, I'm laughing at him. Not because I thought he was an idiot. I thought he was an idiot, but I wasn't laughing at him because he wanted to fight. He dropped the gloves. I hit him, and that was the end of it. I went to go apologize to him. He ran to the bathroom stall, stood on the toilet seat with his skates on, screaming, "Get the fuck out of here. I'm calling security." And I go, dude, I just wanted to get out of here. That's the last game of rec hockey I ever played. I got kicked out of the league. But it wasn't...
No one fucked with you.
We're playing Tier 3. We didn't rush the puck. It was just to have fun.
No one fucked with you at the bars or anything.
No, we didn't look for it. Hey, hold on 1 second. You can all fight anywhere you want. Just like a girl can go to the bar and get laid.
Yes.
All right? A man can always go to the bar and get in a fight. All right? If you want. Every man in here can walk away from 1-2.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
This is a game.
But never. In juniors, I did a couple of times when I was wild.
Oh, I did so. I did in juniors and in Peoria.
But not
you know why?
In Peoria, I know.
Because I wanted to.
Yeah, in Jersey.
It was fun.
I know.
It was fun.
I'm King Dick at the bar.
Yeah, I mean, it was
then
fun.
I got my ass kicked on it.
But it was enjoyable for a point. But then, no, I'm not.
And now I'm like, I'm here for the girls, and that's it.
I had 1 or 2 instances where the guy goes, "No, go outside." I said, "Absolutely, I will. Write me a check. No, better yet, get me $15,000 cash. Yeah. If I lose, I keep it. If I win, I keep it. That's the only way I'm fighting you."
Yeah.
Do you care how people remember you as a player?
No, not at all.
You don't want people to remember you for...
I mean, I'm forcing the issue. Remember who you think I am.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not selling you a story, a legacy. I'm not selling you shit. See me how you want to see me. Do I care? No, because I know who I was as a player and who I am after the game. Whether you choose to believe it, you want to make up stories in your head or whatever, you choose certain parts of a career or part and parcel of what you think you saw or what didn't even exist, we're going to have it. I have been drinking with so many people that I've never drank with. I have had so many fights with people that have been part of the fights I had in the bar that I never participated in. I've had sex with so many girls that I've never met in my life. Do I choose to even take that conversation? No, it wasn't me. Oh, that's what they all say. No, seriously, it wasn't me. Well, no, I'm not interested. I don't give a shit.
You still get recognized all the time?
Yeah, it's nice.
You don't mind that?
No. Like my girlfriend Jamie, she goes, I want to go here or there. And I go, if I'm prepared, taken back to what Wayne Gretzky said. Don't go out unless you're prepared.
You're prepared, yes. So
Be prepared,
exactly.
and you damn well be happy about it. Extend your hand and do what you're supposed to. You know why that guys stay popular here in St. Louis? Damn, you know why? Because you're happy, you're going to sign autographs. If you're going to be a dick, guess what, bro? Your shit's over.
There you go.
You don't go out. Have you ever once been disrespectful? Have you ever once gone out and been a dick? No, you know why? Because you got respect for yourself and the game and for what you did. And you know those kids, they paid you, and the fathers and the graduation, you are the reason they came to get your autograph because they enjoyed you. Why would you want to shatter that dream?
Never. And even Kate gets pissed at people that come up and are weird. Because people are weird to you too, even though they don't know that they're weird to you. And she'll get mad. And I'm like, no, I got this. We're good. We're good. Hey, you're good. Yeah, we're just going to get out now. And
Right.
you just have to have a game plan.
You ever lose a fight?
Absolutely. Any man who says they haven't lost a fight.
Thank you.
Who beat you up?
Anybody beating up and losing a fight are two different things.
Okay.
Let me give you a little dissertation. Getting beat up, you know what that means? That means you got your nose rubbed in it and you never came back. And your pussy got sore, your vagina started to leak, and there wasn't a tampon or a set of freaking wings to keep that coming through the panties. That's called getting beat up.
You got that? Write that fucking down, Strick Daddy.
No,
He's choking on his chips.
All
He didn't
I'm
know he was
saying
fucking
is
scaring
that,
him.
yeah, of course I've lost a fight. Lost him on the street, won him on the street. I fought on the street over 100 times.
On the ice.
On the ice, yeah, I've lost a few. Link Gates and I had a couple great tilts.
Yeah.
I mean, he got me in the last one in junior, and we waited. He got drafted second overall for Minnesota.
But I asked you this outside. I said, like the first half of your career, I watch your videos. I see fights.
Right.
Second half of your career, I see 1, 2, 3 punch knockdown.
Bull.
Right.
You're right in a bull.
Well, things changed.
Yeah.
Things changed. My evolution of the strength, the
You
evolution
put some
of
good weight on.
But here's the thing: everybody thought you're doing the juice. No,
Right.
hold on one second, man.
You ever do the juice?
No, absolutely. I do now. I do that with growth hormone, but it's not to get big or huge.
So
I'm
good
doing
energy.
that to maintain.
You
No,
want-
I'm doing what I want to be young. I don't want to be a 70-year-old freaking withered prune.
No, I hear you.
I'm doing it properly. I'm doing it I'm not elevating my testosterone levels beyond 1,000. I'm not taking growth hormone and in this extraordinary amount. What I'm doing is I'm trying to extend my life. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to have to.
Yeah, I want help.
Dude, I promise you this. Best thing I could have ever done. 100%. At the age of 30, you lose, you lose up to 1% of your testosterone develop, if not more, on a per annum basis. As you tick on up, when I had my count done at 42, I was down 50%. But back to the original question, what was that again?
Yeah,
Did I ever get beat up?
No, the
Never.
first half of your career, I saw fights. Second half of your career, it was 1 or 2, 3 punches.
Well, here's two things happened. Number one, the year that things really transitioned was the year that the first half of the season, first 3 months, I had a bicep disconnection, so I had to nurse that. But that didn't stop me from going to the gym. Dude, I came back from that, and it was game on. I mean, I was working out 3 times a day. I had nothing else to do, and I was going to be the best. And on the other hand of it is that I was able to get in everybody's head at that point, where, up to that point where, if the legend precedes you, I'm going to perpetuate it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, because the farther you get in somebody's head prior to a fight,
You won.
You're right.
See, Camet said, though, that there wasn't anybody he really just didn't like. Did you fight guys you didn't like? There's guys that you just did not like.
Well, no. Here's the thing: the fights that I fought that I didn't like, there's plenty of guys I didn't like that I wanted to fight, but I didn't go chasing after them.
Right.
Again, these are guys. I'll use Todd Ewan and I. We had a complete dislike for each other on the ice. Started training camp here in St. Louis.
You guys competing for jobs or what?
Yeah.
Well, competing on our jobs, and Todd didn't think he had to fight me in training camp.
Who's
And
the
I
coach
said,
then? Is that Brian Sutter, the coach then?
Brian Sutter's first year.
Yeah.
So as we're
Because Todd Ewan used to tell me his hands were like hamburger.
Yeah,
during those training camps.
Yeah,
Craig
well,
Cox in there too.
Coxie was. Yeah, but I think the only fight Todd had was with me in that year.
Okay.
Coxie was there. As you know, Brian Sutter's first year. We had, we're in the theater area at the Holiday Inn in Clayton, and every coach speaks, and Brian comes up. You know what his speech was? If you're a goal scorer, score goals. If you're a goaltender, stop it. If you're a defenseman, play defense. If you're a fighter, fight. That was it. That was his speech.
Figure it out.
As we're going down the elevators, me and Chaser, and there's Todd and Sergio Momesso, and I don't know who else. Herb Ragland was in there.
Herbie
was in there.
He's tough
Then I
too.
looked over at Todd, and I go, I guess you and I are going tomorrow, huh? That's me, cocky. He goes, he goes, I'm not fighting you. He goes, oh, you'll have no choice.
No.
He goes, I don't have to fight you. I'm playing, you're not. Oh, yeah, you do. And we get off the elevator. And
He's older than you?
By 3 years, I think at that point, or 2 years, 3. And then in training camp, Brian Sutter's actually the coach on the training camp side of my side. And I went after, we wouldn't fight the second time. And Brian was loving it, by the way. So the third shift, I left my stick, my gloves, and my helmet on the fucking bench and went to center ice and called him. He wouldn't do it, so I started. I did I started barking like a chicken around the center ice circle until he showed up, and we fought. It was all over the hockey news, but here's the thing: this is the only way I'm getting a job, and I enjoy doing it. But don't get me wrong, this is the only way I'm getting a job. I was the only guy where everybody else had plastic, the plastic boot on your skate. I still had metal ones. I looked like a Neanderthal. I'm not kidding you. It was funny. Yeah. And we got into the dressing room, and I'm gonna get stitches over my eye, and his hand was all screwed up. And he says, who was the coach? Norm Mackey was doing the stuff then.
Trainer.
And Norm goes, push, you gotta get stitched. I said, throw a couple butterflies in. Todd and I are going again. He's on one bench on one table, I'm on the other. Todd goes, I can't. My hand's all screwed up. And I said, well, good for you. And Norm goes, you need to get your stitches. I said, Norm, either you put butterflies over here. He goes, well, I'm not doing it. I said, no problem. Took a piece of tape, threw it over there, went back to the bench. And seriously, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Went out, played the rest of the thing, and Todd's hand was fine. And so they changed the entire training camp, so we never saw each other on the ice again. Now, he stayed the rest of the year, and, I went to Peoria. But here's the thing. That was a precedent setting. It wasn't anything else. That's where the whole dislike thing came.
Yeah.
But off the ice, Todd and I coached together for 2 years. Our son, he's the most amazing individual I knew.
One of the best people
Sweetest.
ever.
Hold on. Hold
smart.
the freaking phone. I mean, I absolutely did not. I mean, I look forward to anywhere he was to fight him. I would have still done it even if I thought of what I didn't, not a great guy. It's still a job.
Yeah.
But probably not with so much enthusiasm.
No, I know.
But here, dude, promise you, what an amazing freaking individual.
Unbelievable human
Amazing
being.
individual.
Seriously,
Everybody loved
amazing individual. I loved him. I mean, we
Smart
coached
man.
together for 2 years, and we had
Successful after hockey, too,
greatest time.
So creative.
Such a
What a
great
mind.
time. Our philosophies were amazing. I mean, I tell you, it was such a good time. Great dude, man. I remember nothing but good things about him. Seriously.
You guys went that one time. He caught you one. You went down, and I've never seen anybody get caught.
Oh, that was in San Jose.
I never seen anybody get caught.
And fighting from the
And then
bottom.
come back and go toe to toe with a monster. You're going toe to toe on your back. Like, no, you ate it. You went down. You're like, no, I'm
No,
not.
no,
you
he
were
tagged
fucking
me.
pissed. He tagged you.
He tagged me.
Then
I
you
went down.
caught him.
But here, we tagged me as we're going back. I'm still throwing. I'm off the ice throwing.
You're trading punches on your back because you don't give a fuck. And
No,
you're-
but the fight wasn't over as far as I'm
No.
concerned. And after that, here's the thing.
And you go
back to the happiness part of it. As we're going to the penalty box, huge smile. I'm going,
you fucking got you,
Yeah, I mean,
motherfucker. Yeah, I love it.
You watch your videos like Cam does?
I've
I've watched them
watched.
a few times.
See, I'm not abnormal, motherfucker.
But I've watched a heck of a lot more of other people.
Yeah, I love it.
Holy shit. I don't know. Every guy I fought, I bet you I watched at least 50. If there was 50 fights available, I
Watch
saw
every
all 50.
fucking one.
If there was 2, I was scratching. This
I'm
was before.
talking about like yesterday, today, you know.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because Cam did.
No.
I still shut up, asshole.
I
No,
mean, people always bring it up, and or whatever. I just say it's no longer. I was there. You know, it's sad. I mean, I look younger now. Yeah, right. I'm just,
You look good,
it was a great.
How do you
Time.
feel physically? You okay?
I'm great. I
Well,
mean,
I walked in here. He had no fucking shirt on.
I'm gonna tell you, I feel great, but I mean, I'm still paying for it, like you are. I mean,
I know.
you're in shape, but I don't give a shit. I mean, you're still earning that paycheck, my good man.
Yeah.
That's never going away. Every day of you wake up. But I'm not. You'll never hear me complain. You never hear me bitch. You never hear me say about it. There's one thing you'll never hear me say.
You're not going to blame anybody
I'm
else
not
but
sore.
yourself.
I'm not this. I can't believe I had this. Fuck
I
that.
got fucked over.
Yeah, you know what bullshit. I earned it. My contract said.
Fucking A.
I'm good with it.
Well, thanks for letting us come here.
Hey, no
Christ.
problem. Hey, you're gonna have to pay the guy
Don't be
on the
a
way
stranger.
out.
Don't be a stranger.
Coming in was easy.
Yeah,
It's leaving that's a whole new
Coming in was
story.
hard, actually.
You haven't seen the guy living in the basement yet. That's like on Pulp Fiction.
Like
It's a gimp.
The gimp was
Let's
down
get
there.
the gimp out here. Let me fucking
Now
smack him
your
around
dog
a
is
little
going to kill me.
No, he's the happiest. You have no idea so
No,
happy
he's
he
the
is.
nicest dog ever.
He really is.
But he's pretty intimidating.
bit. Twister is gonna
Until you
blast.
see him, meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll hit you with his tail. Knock you
Pleasure,
down.
man. Thanks
Well, it's a
letting
pleasure.
us
Thanks for
come in.
coming over.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming to the homestead.
Yeah.
I've been inviting Cam here for years. You
I
know
know
what,
he
Strick?
has.
Yeah.
For years. You, I couldn't invite because it was really uncomfortable last time you grabbed my package. But I mean,
With two hands.
I'm kidding. I wouldn't say that out loud.
No. Not on the podcast.
You just did.
Oh shit! Is this being recorded?
Are we just not having a conversation?
I
with the
thought we
kids?
were just chumming around, sitting around having a
we'll
beer.
edit that.
What? No,
I do appreciate you guys
Appreciate
coming
it.
over.
Love it,
Thanks.
man.
It was nice to like.
Let it out a little bit. eh?
Yeah, let it out. It's always
Hit the
fun to
rock,
have a little,
homeboy.
a little reminisce. Man, enjoyed it. Thanks much.
Right on.
Well, that was fun. That was a lot of fun, man. And you know what? I don't know what people are going to take out of this conversation, but
Take it with a grain of salt. How's that?
one thing that I will take is that Tony Twist has an unreal memory.
He does.
And his outlook on the game and his outlook on his career is very similar to a lot of old school players, man. But
his outlook on life as a
Yes.
whole right now.
yes, so we appreciated it. That was fun. I really enjoyed it, even though
You're
I
a
was a
little
little
scared. You're a little nervous,
nervous.
You're a little
Well, the
nervous.
dog almost killed me.
Which, him or the real dog? I mean, they're both like werewolves.
But it was the nicest dog of all time.
yeah,
I
and
should.
he's the nicest guy.
Oh my god.
Until you
very
make him
very
mad.
talented.
He is. No, he is, and he's unique, and he's actually extremely smart, man. And he does a lot of cool things. He could fix anything. And I told him, I go in this garage, and again, there's just stuff everywhere that he could. I'm like, you're always going to be able to make money.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to be able to make money. Like, I need to be witty and funny. He could make something and do this and fix things and do. And he's got such a different skill set, and he's a hard worker too, man. Just a cool guy.
He has a huge refrigerator.
Yeah.
It's like a commercial refrigerator that you would see in the back of like a
Is
restaurant.
that where he said his gimp lives?
I don't know. But very hospitable.
Oh,
and
God.
I will say this. The best, hands down, without question, tough guy in the history of the Blues organization.
God, yeah.
The most popular tough guy, I
No
think,
doubt
in the
about
history of the organization, too.
Gigantic.
No offense to you.
No, I look up to him, man.
You
Like,
may
that's
have
like,
been- you may-
I'm not competing with him.
You fall somewhere in the top 20. I don't
I'm,
know.
I'm up there.
No, you're up there, man, for sure.
Thank you.
But you really did look up to him.
Yeah, I did, honestly. No, you chirped me on the podcast about that.
But
I-
jokingly, because I had tons of posters and stuff like
Dude,
that hung
I
up
had,
in my room,
when
too.
he was on that motorcycle, the poster when he's just he had that tank top
Mm-hmm.
on with Tony the Tiger tattoo on his arm. I'm like, oh my God. And I told you, man, anytime he did his thing, everybody was just fixated on him. And I'm like, God, I just love that. And I fell in love with it, man. And I'm sure my parents shook their head a little bit like, oh boy, we're going to be in one. And they were.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a big reason why I got into hockey. He really was.
Where do you rank him all time? I'm kind of impressed with you, by the way. He was naming some old school fighters, and you knew right away if they throw rights or lefts.
Everything, man.
Are you
You
a student
kidding?
of the game like
Yeah,
that?
with that?
With fighters?
Yes, of course.
How have you gone about doing that? Like watching videos, reading books? What?
At night, if I'm not watching something on the History Channel, to be honest with you, or Smithsonian, I'll look up hockey fights or I look up, like I just, and when you're playing, you're obsessed with it because I had to have a style. And look, if you're a fighter, you have to have a style. Like, what's your style? Are you 6'6" and you can throw down the pipe? and you're not going to get hit because you're big and you got a long reach, or you're 5'11" like me and have to throw both hands and get in tight and eat a couple off the back of the head instead of in a temple or whatever the case is going to set you back. So I just watch everything. Anything that's on YouTube, I watch every single fight. You ask me to fight, I'll tell you what happened at the end. I'll tell you who throws what hand,
Really?
and so on and so forth.
And you have always said you didn't watch a ton of hockey growing up outside of the Blues.
Yeah, because there's no NHL Network or anything, but I watched the VHS.
Did you go down to games a lot?
All the time.
Yeah.
My dad would take us down all.
It's a long drive from
It's a long
Eureka.
drive. Yeah, we were living in House Springs, and when we would drive all the way down, and it was just, that's how I got into it, man. I had to see it live, and I did. And I watched baseball live. I watched a lot of football live. And when I watched hockey, I was obsessed with it, especially when guys would go out there and drop the gloves, and everybody's like, oh, my God. And I'm like, wow, look at all this attention. And I felt it. And I'm like, I want to be that.
I remember Reed Lowe,
Never heard of
early in my career, he fought Bob Probert in a game.
I know he did.
And he talked about how that was kind of a dream of his and
Yeah.
what an honor it was to fight Bob Probert. Who would have been that guy for you?
Well, I think, I was starting to fight everybody, but I was fighting guys that didn't want to do it off the bat. My first year, I was like, these guys that I could just, they were a little bit bigger than me and I could control them. Mm-hmm. And then I messed up and I hit Caberlet, and I had to go to Toronto 3 weeks later, and that city hated me. And I was still a kid, and I had to deal with a lot of pressure, and it's my fault, and I know that, of course. I hit them late, and it hurt them, and the city, they still do. They still chirp me big time. And I went in there, and Belak was in, and I had to go home, and I went up for 2.5 minutes, and I was standing, and he was down at the end. Maybe he beat me, but it was a good fight. And that got me to a point where I'm like, good. All right, if I mess up, I can still be able to stick up for myself. Mm-hmm. He's a
Why
6'7".
did you question that when you first came in
but
the
you
league?
need to prove it to yourself too.
But give me a guy even if a guy who was retired when you came into the league, who you would have loved to be able to say, I fought that guy.
I asked Domi, but they had Belak at the time. But I remember going up to the Dome, Ty, and I go, hey, look, you want to do it? And he goes, I got a bad wing. And right when he said that, I go, okay.
This is when he was in Toronto.
He was in Toronto.
So he was
still,
playing in that
05.
game.
Yes, he was in that game. I went right. He was playing left wing, and I went right up to him. Or maybe he was playing right wing, and I switched with my winger. And I go, you want to do it? You want to do it? He goes, hey, kid, I got a bad wing. I go, okay. And I gave him respect. Because you got a bad wing? Play 1,000 games? I got you. Where's Belak? Let's go. Or Tucker. But he didn't want to fight me.
I asked Craig Berube the other day, just how he lasted as long as he did.
I know, it's crazy.
And he said he came into camp every year in the best shape of anybody else on the team.
Yeah, you have to, man. I was doing 3 days here with boxing and skating and training, and you just have to be. You have to separate yourself. Then I started stretching. Mm-hmm. I went through a phase where I'm like, I need to stretch more and be able to open my hips up when I try to get the puck out of the zone. Like little things like that. Then I started stick handling a ball around. And everybody chirped me on the team. But I'm like, no, this helps me get the puck out of the zone. I'm not toe dragging anybody, but I need to get the damn puck out and in. So this just gives me a better feel for it.
I kind of felt like that, when we went out to Tony's house. And I say we went out there. It really isn't that far.
No, but you seems
feel like you're in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
It almost had the feeling of like a guy that you just had not heard from, who lives in the woods by himself,
man.
And nobody has seen him or heard from him
in a while.
years.
Andy?
And all of a sudden, he came out from the woods to do like an exclusive interview that he hasn't done.
It's like Slender Man. Is that what's going on?
And you didn't know what you were getting into because we really didn't know what we were getting into when we got out there.
I know him though. Like, don't get me wrong. I knew what to expect.
Oh, for sure. No, I've
knew what to
interviewed
expect,
Tony.
man.
I've done tons of radio with him, and I've interviewed him countless times over the years, and he's come and done my show. And I've always had a pretty good relationship with him, man. I always had a ton of respect for this guy.
He's scary. He was a scary human being, but he was a great teammate, and he's a great human being.
I remember
Is he crazy? Yes,
Okay.
but we all are in a way.
He says he's all good though. You asked your
head question.
Well, can we get the head question sponsored, Jamie?
I know.
Please.
By like a neurosurgeon.
I mean,
it's got a lot of
if
money.
you're going to ask that question every single episode, we might as well get that.
Well, I think that's
sponsored.
a legit question to ask.
It is.
If I may.
And he says he's all good.
If I may.
I didn't see him get hit too many times in the head.
Man, he got corked, dude. Are you kidding me?
For sure.
He got corked.
And
he got corked by
junior.
Todd Ewan. Yes, he did.
But
everybody gets corked.
But he came up in an era in the Western Hockey League where only the strong survive.
And he put on weight, and he worked out 3 times a day. He was getting 3 minutes a night, and he knew he had all this extra energy, and he had to do extra stuff. So he started beefing up, when he could still be somewhat slow and still have a role. And he started really ragdolling guys. At the beginning of his career, just like you noticed too, Andy, he'd go toe-to-toe with guys, and guys, even Kimby and all those guys would stay in with him. And then when he got a little bit bigger, and he was 275 at his peak, 275, he's ragdolling you.
275?
Yes, it's like, and everybody compares it to riding a bull. You last 8 seconds, and you're alive. You feel good about yourself. Riding a bull and fighting Tony Twist, same damn thing.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, listen, this is kind of why we do the podcast.
I know.
You know, to be able to get into the heads of some of these guys, and to be able to bring that to our listeners who have been supporting the podcast, and we appreciate that. You can find it everywhere: Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, obviously. So
Google.
Be sure to subscribe. We want people to subscribe, and we're going to continue to bring you as much good content as we can. We got the All-Star Game coming here. We've got some real good guests coming up in the next couple episodes as well. So we appreciate the support, as always, of the Cam and Strick podcast. I hope you enjoy this one from the one and only Twister. Man, that was fun. Thanks, Cam. COPE 24. COPE stands for Changing Our Parenting Experience, a St. Louis-based child advocacy nonprofit founded right here in St. Louis. COPE 24 promotes the need to make parenting and child development education a priority in high schools and reaching all students.